And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the only podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. As I was loading up the document, the Google Doc, on which the topics of the episode live. The theme song was ending. And whose fault is that? But mine. I was about to point to you. Hey, welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. This is the only podcast, premier podcast, cpluscomedy.com. We got a lot to talk about this week, so let's get right to it. LILLY Singh, is that her name? LILLY Singh's late night show debuted. They've got the YouTube channel up and everything. There was a time when Letterman was still around. It's like 7 years ago. When everybody else had a YouTube channel. Well, no, some people had YouTube channels and some people didn't. Fallon was the leading one. Ferguson and Letterman didn't have one. When Conan came about for the Tonight Show, he didn't have one. But when he started Team Coco for TBS and the Conan show, they got one. Kimmel, I think Kimmel had one, but not everyone had one. And then, but now, you start a late night show. We got, a lot of people doing their shows, and it's imperative. Day one, you have to have a late night show YouTube channel. So here we go. LILLY Singh's late night show debuted over there on NBC in Carson Daly's time slot. There came a point. I did not watch the first episode with Mindy Kaling as a guest, but I did watch the first episode is an hour long, but the rest of the episodes are half an hour because Carson's time slot is at 1 o'clock, something like that. It's right after 1:30, right after Seth Meyers. Late night with Seth Meyers. So I watched the Kenan episode. The Kenan Thompson episode was episode 2. And that came about Tuesday. Today is Thursday. I've been to watch all of them. I could not because I've just been just watching murder stuff at work, watching all these murder documentaries. Anyway, so I watched LILLY Singh's late night show. It's a little late. It's over there on YouTube, and it's got already. This is Thursday, and it's already got the episode, the cutouts from Monday's episode, Tuesday's episode, Wednesday's episode, and they even had a primetime special. If you go on Hulu, subscribe to Hulu, watch the show, and it's even got a primetime special that aired last night, I believe. So it's 4 episodes. The content of 6. Yeah, it's a very I hate to come at this negatively, but it's a very millennial driven series, late night series. In that it is, which I'm great. I'm so happy for her. Little side note: I thought she was Liza Koshy. Very racist. I thought LILLY Singh was Liza Koshy. I know, racist. I know, but in my defense, but I'm glad I got this mixed up with 2 people of color instead of another set of white people, which I usually do. Like seriously, I thought. Not all of yesterday, but for at least like 5 minutes yesterday, I was listening to a podcast and somebody had mentioned that they'd done an episode of on Liza on Demand on YouTube Premium, and then I was like, I wonder if Liza's going to keep her YouTube channel along with doing, and to my benefit, LILLY Singh was on YouTube as well, or is. I don't know if she's still doing it, but. But I got them mixed up. I thought, is she still going to do her late night show with her YouTube channel and the YouTube show? 2 different people. Very racist, I know. Anyways, let's get back to it. But it is very millennial driven. I would not be surprised if I looked at the writers' room, which I think we did a couple like 2 months ago. I would not be surprised if I looked at the writers' room and it was a bunch of people in their 20s. Which is fine. Which is not to say that people, because I want to write for late night. That'd be great. I would love to, or I'd love to have my own late night show. Something like that. But it's okay. Let's not say it's millennial driven because Corden is millennial driven, and that show is just so expansive and and dare I say it, funny. Liza's show is good. I enjoy it for what it is, and I like the interview sections. And of course, she has to build her footing, whatever, blah blah blah. But there are moments in that show that are built just for online. She did an opening music video which didn't have any response from any crowd. It was just a straight to air video, I guess. It didn't have a live crowd reaction, as it should, if you're gonna have a late night show. And just a lot of little things here and there. A lot of crowd pandering. A lot of crowd pandering. Now that I think about it, a lot of crowd pandering where you'll say something and it's not meant for a laugh. It's meant for a clap, applause, a clap, and I just don't need that. And a lot of jokes about there being white men in late night. Just do the job. Don't talk like you make the one joke and then move on. She made the one joke in episode 1, and then it continued in every other joke from episode 1 to episode 4. I feel bad for saying all this stuff, but I can't wait to see what this show is going to be like in 6 months. And also something I noticed: her show, Lily Singh's show, is a lot like Pete Holmes' show on TBS when that was around. And the monologue isn't... this show could have been shot all last week. Truly would not know. You would not know every single joke in the monologue, if that's what you can call it. I guess you call it. But every single joke in the monologue was not topical. And... I can hear the TV outside. Every joke in the monologue was not topical, and which is fine, which is a totally fine thing for anybody. And the guests, even though they were current, like Mindy Kaling, Kenan Thompson, Mandy Moore, I don't know. I haven't looked at their episodes. Forgive me. Tracee Ellis Ross was on last night, but even though they're current and their shows are on now or about to premiere, or they have movies or books or whatever, they don't talk about things that happened that day. So this show could have been shot last week. I'm not averse to that because we don't need that right now. So I'm good for that show. That's a plus in my book. I like a show that can be shot and they can do things differently. But I would like to see where this is in 6 months. So great job, Lily Singh. I'll say good job. I'm not gonna say great. Good job, Lily Singh. Let's and then the editing. It's really funny when Desus and Mero premiered on Showtime a couple of months ago, and I mentioned that the editing was erratic. Here, it is too tight. Like they'll show Kenan Thompson like dancing to the couch, but then they'll cut back to Lily, then they'll cut back to him, they'll cut back, and it's just too harsh for cuts. So anyway, loosen up, baby. And she also, and this is what I want to bring up, she made a joke about there being all men in late night, and she showed a picture, and they showed a picture of, and I blame the producers and I blame the writers, and I will go as far as blame her. They showed a picture of all the men in late night, but it included people like Larry Wilmore, and I thought, he hasn't had a show for 3 years. So why is Larry Wilmore there? And if anything, include David Spade, include Desus and Mero, she treated it as if her and Hassan were the only people of color in late night, which she's not. And they treated like she was the only woman in late night, which she's not. I mean, come on. Sam B is around. I just watched Sam B clips today. Crazy. The writers have got to, and I understand you can do it at you're expensing history at a joke, or what? You're telling the joke at the expense of history. But, however, I will tell you this. There was, I think I mentioned this before. I swear I have. There was an episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where Kanye was, this is during Kanye freak out moment when Kanye was like freaking out. And he put out The Life of Pablo. So this is like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. He put out The Life of Pablo, and to music heads, to hip hop heads who were listening to the album, he'd already put out a single of the song called Wolves with Sia and Frank Ocean, I believe. And but on the album release, he did a version of Wolves where it was just him by himself. And people were complaining, wolves, fix wolves. And then he tweeted out, I'm a fix wolves. And then Colbert took that joke and he was doing some rant about Kanye's rant. And then he put up, I'm a fix wolves. And he was like, how can you fix wolves? How can you fix one of these creatures? And I thought it was such a lazy thing. I'm like, no, if you just Google wolves, or if you just look at the album Wolves, you'll know. So anyway, just don't mess with history over a joke. All right? It's stupid. And if you're going to do it, be funny. Let's speaking of NBC, let's move on. Let's throw this in here. NBC's Peacock streaming service. They announced it. NBC Universal is going to do a streaming service, as is everyone else. Earlier this week, actually, there was a look at Disney Plus. It's live in the Netherlands right now, or Switzerland, one of those really white places. And it's just kind of, it's a beta test, and it shows you everything. It's kind of bland. It's like a very bland version of all the streaming services. Stop comparing it to Netflix. All right. I understand that is the main rival, but every article I see, The Verge, Vox, New York Times, The Atlantic, it's Disney Plus is the bland version of Netflix. It's the Disney version of Netflix. No, like streaming services, Hulu existed as a streaming service before Netflix did. I mean, it's cable channels. You can't say Netflix is the streaming version of HBO. It's not. I taste pizza. Is that weird? Let's name it the episode. Okay. So NBC Universal streaming service, this comes from Vulture, is called Peacock, and it's launching next April, written by Joseph Adelian. Really, I mean, that is as basic as you can get with that title. NBC Universal streaming service is called Peacock, and it's launching next April. I mean, there you go. So there's going to be more than 15,000 hours of content from the entertainment conglomerates, TV and movie vaults. In addition to previously announced deal to take back The Office from Netflix in 2021, NBCU Tuesday said that starting next fall, Peacock will also be exclusive streaming home for the Universal TV-produced Parks and Recreation, which is currently streaming on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video. And also, it was announced this week that Hulu lost Seinfeld to Netflix. And let's see. Big Bang Theory is going to the Warner Media's streaming HBO Max service. We'll get to all these different services in a second, but this is just too much. So as soon as I heard that Seinfeld was going to Netflix, I just thought, and Parks is going to NBC, to the Peacock service, I just thought, I'm going to just buy the DVDs, buy the DVDs, I'm going to buy 30 Rock, I'm going to buy The Office, I'm going to buy Seinfeld, I'm going to buy Friends. Just buy the DVDs so I don't have to deal with this crap. And I understand that people don't want to get up and put discs inside their Xboxes or PlayStations or DVD players or whatever. Very specific. People don't want to do that. They just want the ease of having those episodes. But when it comes down to it, you don't own the stuff. And if in 15 years you want to watch an episode of Friends or The Office or Fresh Prince or whatever, I had to put a black show there, then you're going to be out of luck when it comes to that, because what if they're not streaming anymore? What if Marta Kaufman says, I don't want these shows streaming anymore, and she pulls off Friends, and then Paul Lieberstein, who I think is a producer for The Office, pulls on and says, I don't know why this show's streaming. Paul Lieberstein, the guy who has no pull for that. The new service will also lock down deals for a slew of originals with ties to existing NBCU brands, including a reboot of Battlestar Galactica, overseen by Sam Esmail from Mr. Robot, revivals of Saved by the Bell and Punky Brewster, comedy talk shows by Late Night's Amber Ruffin, which is great. I'm so excited. I hope I saw that and I thought this is going to be excellent. I really hope, because the NBC did not pick up her pilot, I really hope that this is, can you hear them stopping upstairs? Insane. I really hope that this is you bang on the ceiling and they just don't stop. You go up there and knock on the door, they just don't stop. I really hope that Amber's show is a late night show. It can be a comedy talk show, whatever, but I hope it's a late night style show in the vein of Hassan's show or Lily's show or Seth's show or Conan's show. Just name the people I like. If I keep going, it's going to get really sad about the people I don't like. It's just one white guy. And then a new comedy from The Good Place creator Mike Schur, starring Ed Helms. And there'll also be dozens of films from Universal Library, new anime shows from DreamWorks Animation, and DreamWorks Animation was brought out of bankruptcy by Netflix. So this is very interesting that they hop on back to Universal. But DreamWorks Animation, if you recall, several years ago was in, I wouldn't say bankruptcy, but it was very, very tumultuous over there at the production house. And Netflix, I think they said, you give us 500 hours of shows. And so they gave them, I think it was like it was like 200 or 300. And then Netflix asked for the last 200 or 300. And then they gave them 500 hours of shows and stuff. And DreamWorks was able to survive another day. Just kiss the mic again. It's like the title of that one episode. So then they have those library titles, and then of course, along with Parks and The Office, they have library titles including SNL. Oh God, I pray that all of SNL's on there. SNL, Cheers, 30 Rock, Frasier, all the stuff that was on NBC, on the NBC. If it's, and then comedy, we got some drama shows coming in, some movies, and then they're going to do some, quote, premium original films and animated series, unscripted shows, and then Spanish language programming. Spanish language programming. There's something I want to talk about. So I wonder, this is very strange for NBC Universal. I mean, this is a good move for them. NBC Universal, if you remember the first couple episodes of the show, I was talking about CISO, and they had CISO on there. It was streaming. It was $5 a month. It was all their comedy stuff, every bit of their comedy stuff, and it's $5 a month. You can get a CISO app on your phone, on the web, and you watch it. And it's just all this comedy stuff, SNL, whatever, original shows, original programming. And I think in like a year and a half or 2 years, it was defunct, and they closed everything. They closed up shop for that. So yeah, that was CISO. But it's interesting because we have, all these shows that were originally on Hulu, like Cheers is on Hulu and Netflix, Frasier's on Hulu and Netflix, 30 Rock's on Hulu, Friday Night Lights is on Hulu, Parenthood's on Hulu, Superstore's on Hulu, Will and Grace, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they're all on Hulu, but now they're probably going to live in this NBC Universal Peacock streaming service. And then there was also talk that if you subscribe to Hulu or Amazon Prime, then you're going to be able to get this free. Let me read this because this is going to make more sense. Though there's still no exact launch date, price, or details on how Peacock will be distributed, ABCU has previously said the service will be ad-supported, with anyone who subscribes to a cable package or virtual cable service such as YouTube TV or Hulu with Live TV possibly being able to watch for free. There will also be a standalone subscription, though it's not yet clear if there will be an ad-free tier. By calling the service Peacock, NBC, whatever. So they're trying to keep it in the family. Let's go to break. When I come back, we'll talk more about this. Boop. Okay, welcome back. Started the countdown, then I looked at the side of my head to see how my haircut was. I got a haircut that was way too short. And I told the guy, this is so bad. I told the guy, I got a haircut on Friday after work. And then all I had was cash, and I gave him the cash. And then I was like, man, I want to tip you. And then I was like, are you going to be here on Monday? He goes, yeah. I said, great. I'll come and tip you then. And then I look at the haircut all weekend, and I'm thinking it's too short. Like he cut it way too short. He did. Like I was if you notice if you're watching the video, my hair was a lot higher. And then he cut it down one level, and then he's like, yeah, how about that? And I was like, well, I like to curl my hair, but you can cut it a little bit lower. And he goes, okay. And then he cut it down again. He goes, how about that? And I stick my finger in, and I go, great. Like it comes up like past the knuckle on my middle finger, and I go, great. And I got long fingers, and I go, great. All right, let's just do that. And so he cuts my hair, and then I get up, and it's this short. And I'm just like, I mean, if I could still curl it, and he didn't curl it, he didn't do anything. He just left it like in the mini fro form, which really pissed me off. So I was like, I'll come back and I'll tip you on Monday. Never did tip him. Let's get back to it. So we're counting down how many streaming services are going to be. So at the end of this all, there's going to be Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Peacock, Warner Media, Disney Plus, Apple Plus, and That's it. That's 7. Those are the 7 main ones that they're going to be. I don't know. I think Viacom is doing something, but I doubt that. Oh, CBS All Access. 8. There's 8. Isn't that insane? There are 8 major streaming services when there was just Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, and then everybody else is like, we got to jump in there, baby. It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, and ESPN Plus, I guess, because it has, and these are just things that have original shows, original programming. That's the reason I'm counting them. So there's 9 major ones, and then I can hear the TV. It's so loud. Eventually, there's going to be just, again, I said it before. It's going to turn back into cable, and we're all going to be paying for it all over again. All right, let's move on. This next one comes from GameStop. No, it comes from IGN. It's about GameStop. Written by Matt Kim. GameStop store redesign. There is a leaked video tour from Pryor, Oklahoma. And is it leaked if it's posted on Facebook? It was posted by the person on Facebook. IGN sources say there is a test store in Oklahoma, the same state from which the video is from. There's it's just a reboot. It just shows a reboot of what GameStop is going to be. So GameStop has been going through a lot of changes as of late. A lot of money losing over there on that side. I just popped open the Facebook video. I do not check social media, so this is very interesting to me. But if you look at the video, you can see that it kind of looks like an Urban Outfitters. It really does. I'm joking. I was joking before when I said that in my head, but it looks like an Urban Outfitters. And there's a giant TV on one side, and the games have really, like, the game selection has really been slimmed down. They have a display case for PS4s and Xboxes and Switches and all that stuff. But there's also a couch to sit down in front of the TV and probably play games. There's also a lot of pop figures, so many pop figures, T-shirts, I assume. And then, oh my God, they brought gaming tables in the back and TVs and CRT TVs. Oh, for Nintendo 64s and the SNESs and GameCubes and all that stuff. Interesting. Snacks and stuff. And then they've got like 4-way registers. So it's kind of like like I said, an Urban Outfitters, kind of like a Macy's. I'm really just describing this video. I don't know why. Why is this interesting to anybody? Why am I doing this? If you're looking at the DS, maybe I'll leave the DSLR video view up. I should be recording this, but I'm not going to. I'm recording this on my screen, but I'm not going to. It's it looks very modern. It looks like what they should have done maybe 10 years ago. There's a touch screen, I believe. I think he's narrating too. And wow. Okay. Anyway. GameStop, there you go. The redesign looks cool. I hope it can save it. I do enjoy GameStop. GameStop has saved my butt countless times for when I needed money. Just plain and simple. When I used to have a huge physical collection of games, and then as time goes on, when you don't get hired for so long, you got to start selling stuff, and that's what happens. You just gotta get rid of stuff that you miss and all that, whatever. Let's see. The new store seems to ditch the glossy black and white aesthetic of current GameStop locations. Instead, the store now sports a more muted gray color aesthetic with faux wood paneling, which is true. The store is also sleeker and more streamlined with cleaner rows of games, as well as a small table for video game apparel and figures. There's also a wall-mounted tablet in the store that customers can order from, as well as a sofa and HDTV in the middle of the store. It's like the front. I wouldn't say in the middle. In August, GameStop confirmed to IGN that it laid off 120 employees, including editorial members of GameStop's print publication, Game Informer. Oh, I didn't know GameStop owned Game Informer. Wow, that sucks. I was reading some Game Informer stuff a couple weeks ago. GameStop also recently confirmed during an earnings call that it could close up to 200 underperforming stores worldwide. GameStop announced the layoffs as part of GameStop Reboot, which includes plans to redesign stores that focus on live events, retro games, and esports. Yeah, this live events thing is very smart to me, because people still line up to get physical games at midnight. As much as people like to download games to their consoles and have them at midnight, so they can press the A button or the X button, cross, apparently that's what it's called. And it's it's a story that happened like 2 weeks ago. And press it right there and it's loaded up. People still like to buy physical because sometimes it's cheaper, most of the time it's cheaper than digital. And you can also return the game after the fact. Great. So these live events, if a store is going to have a launch party for Halo Infinite next year, then they could bring out the Halo Master Chief Collection, open the store at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and have people play games on the couch, play games on the CRT TVs in the back. And then at midnight, they can say, all right, we're going to sell Halo Infinite, or Last of Us Part 2. This is good. This is going to be good for them. I truly wish they had done this 10 years ago when the rumors were like, yeah, GameStop sucks and it's failing. They give you back $5 for every $60 game you bought, 3 years ago. Whatever. The news follows as 14.3% sales increase year over year and a net loss of $400 million in Q2. GameStop CFO Jim Bell also predicted that this trend of loss will continue for the next several quarters until the next generation of consoles is released. Several quarters? What is this? 1, 2, 3? There's 4 quarters in that. That's like 15 quarters. Okay. And finally, let's run through this really quickly. This is something that I planned weeks ago, but it's only apropos to do it now. These are the TV pilots for a 2019 season from The Hollywood Reporter, written by Leslie Goldberg. These are all the shows that were passed over or ordered to series based on a list. This is TV pilots 2019. Shows go through piloting, which is they make the first episode of a show, and if the network likes it or not, then they will pick up the show and give it a certain amount of episodes. A lot of these shows were not ordered. A lot of these shows were. Let's go over. This is only for network, I believe, as well. ABC Comedies. This is Happy Accident. Was starring Vanessa Williams, Matt Walsh, Joanna Garcia Swisher, Heather Donahue. Oh my God, what a beautiful cast. Jesse Pinnock, Elliot Knight, Robert Smith. Revolves around 2 Pittsburgh families, a father, Matt Walsh, with 3 daughters, Joanna Garcia Swisher, and a hotel lounge singer, 3 adult daughters, and a hotel lounge singer, Vanessa Williams, with her med student son, who are forced together after a decades-old secret is revealed. Oh, man, that would have been funny. This is on ABC. I should have said that earlier. Mixed-ish was ordered to series, starring R.C. Himmel, Tika Sumpter, Christina Anthony, Michelle Harris, Ethan Childress, and I believe Mark Paul Gossier is in the show as well. This is a spinoff of Blackish. It's just Tracy Ellis Ross growing up. Nana, starring Katie Seagal, Ben Lawson, Kimberly Quinn, Jim Allen, Bill Bellamy, Jolie Hoag Rappaport, not picked up. After the death of his wife, an obsessive, overprotective dad, Josh Cook, is forced to invite his brash and bawdy mother-in-law, Katie Seagal, to his home to help raise their 2 granddaughters she barely knows. United We Fall, ordered to series, starring Jane Curtin, Jason Mitchell Snow, Will Sasso. Oh, good. Christina Vidal. Profoundly realistic multicultural family sitcom that shows how when 2 people with young children and overzealous extended families truly love each other, barely anything is possible. They all sound the same. Hannah Simone's show did not get picked up, starring Hannah Simone, Jane Levy's, Alana Ubach, Denise Akdeniz, Liza Traeger, and Hank Chin. This is sound like a very brown show. Hannah and her Indian-American immigrant father have always been close, but after she admits to herself that she's a dead-end job and he reveals his marriage is over, they're starting over together and finding a new path, a new chapter will make them carry crazy clothes or just crazy. It's a single camera. That sounds fun. That last show, United We Fall, was multi-camera, so we'll see how long that lasts. Untitled Jessica Gao, passed over / being shopped. Holly Chow, Cindy Chung, Stephen Park, Kelly Hu, Helen Hong. Oh, Helen Hong. Ki Hong Lee, Ashley Park, and John Gimberly. Single camera. Revolves around Janet Zhao, a first-generation Chinese-American woman who struggles to set healthy boundaries with her crazy, exhausting family. It's just a lot of family stuff. I'm going to skip over that. I'm sorry. Entitled Leslie Odom Jr. Comedy, which was also passed over. Starring Leslie Odom Jr. and people. I don't want to say any of those names. It's too long. Inspired by real-life progressive pastors Toure Roberts and Sarah Jakes Roberts. The show revolves around Omari, Leslie, and Hope, Kelly Ginrette, who together run a modern ministry. It's a family comedy. There we go. Okay, you get it. Woman Up, starring Mary Elizabeth. This is Passover. Starring Mary Elizabeth Ellis, Tawny Newsome, Abby Quinn, Gabrielle Elise, Kim Whitley. Wow, okay. Leon Thomas, Tate Moore, Bryce Charles. You can tell it's the first time I looked this. Two former teen moms, Mary Elizabeth Ellis and Tawny Newsome, have worked their blanks off to see their daughters all the way through high school graduation, and now at 35, they're ready to make up for the youth they never had. I could tell where the show was going, but still. Let's skip on down to CBS. Bob Hart's Abishola, and if you have not been seeing commercials for Bob Hart's Abishola, you have been missing out. This stars Billy Gardell and Folake Olowolfikwu, Christina Ebersole, Mary Beth Monroe, Shola Adusui, which is really what I like, and Matt Jones and a few other people. What I really like about this show, it's a multicam, is that it stars a bunch of real people from Africa, which is great. Or wherever they're from. They're black. And they have African accents, so wherever they're from. Go watch the trailer for that. This is a white guy who falls in love with an African woman. There we go. Carol's second act, multi-camera, starring Patricia Heaton, a bunch of other losers, but Patricia Heaton is there, and she's great. It's about a woman named Carol Chambers who, after raising her two children and retiring from teaching, embarks on a unique second act, becoming a doctor. I can't wait to see that. Only multicam this season, I can't wait to see. Emperor of Malibu, starring Max Williams, Ken Jeong, Deborah S. Craig, Taylor Louderman, passed over when the son of a Chinese billionaire announces his engagement to an American woman. His family, kids, another family one. Broke. Ordered a series starring Jamie Camille, Polly Perrette, Natasha Leggero, and Izzy Diaz. When outrageously wealthy trust fund baby Jimmy Kimmel is cut off from his father, he and his wife moved to their estranged sisters, forcing the siblings to reconnect. Condo. Over the House. Passover. There's a lot of comedies. Starring Katherine Heigl. Wow. And Malcolm Barrett. Wow. Timeless mom and dad, or devoted mom and dad. Sorry, I saw Timeless by Malcolm Barrett's name. A devoted mom and dad are committed to raising their children with the love and support from their mom that they never got as a kid, but difficulties in the same parents and siblings are back in the picture. God, so many freaking family comedies. I mean, wouldn't that make sense not to do a family comedy? I know that's what you want to do for network, especially for network. And that's why Modern Family lasted so long, because people, it's a family. And it was fine for a couple years as well. The Unicorn, Walton Goggins, Rob Corddry, Michaela Watkins, Omar Benson Miller picked up the series. Unicorn is about a widower who's getting back into dating life. Super simple love story. Parker Young, some other people. Ronnie Chang. Oh, okay. Explores how an unlikely couple becomes an unlikely family. Oh, God, through interviews and vignettes spanning 10 years. That reminds me of Me, Myself, and I, which was canceled. That spanned like 50 years, I think. Or 40 years. To Megan Cern. Starring Michael Angarano. Briga Helene. I love her. She's great. Raymond Black. Michael Cassidy, Taylor Dearden, Anna Villafane. Evan sets out with his group. This is passed over. Evan sets out with his group of 20-something friends to accomplish a list of challenges he wrote for himself a year ago in an effort to turn around his banal life. This is so stupid. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Fox comedy. Adam and Eve, starring Odette Annabelle and Ryan Hansen. I like him. Based on a French-Canadian format, the comedy follows one couple at 3 stages of the relationship, young and passionate, middle-aged with kids, and navigating retirement. It was a single camera. I wonder how that would have worked. Bless the Hearts animated series, straight to order. Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, yeah, of course. Julian Bell, Ike Barinholtz. That's why you pick it up. Look at that cast. You got that cast. You pick it up. Follows a group of Southerners who are broke as a joke and struggling for American dream and status of wealth. Yeah. Duncanville animated series, straight to order, also picked up. Amy Poehler, Rashida Jones, Wiz Khalifa. I mean, you got the team. Revolves around a 15-year-old boy named Duncan and his family and friends, including his mother, Annie, who is constantly trying to prevent her son from ruining his life. The Great North animated ordered the series. They're going to have so many animation domination shows. Nick Offerman, Jenny Slate, Megan Mullally, Paul Rust, Aparna, and then Charla. Oh, my gosh. And then Charla, Will Forte, Dulce Sloan. It's like amazing. Follows the Alaskan adventures of the Tobin family. A single dad, Beef, does his best to keep weird bunch of kids close, especially as the artistic dreams of his only daughter, Judy, lead her away from the family fishing boat and into glamorous world of the local mall. That sounds like it's going to be fun. Outmatched. Ordered the series. Maggie Lawson, Jason Biggs, Tisha Campbell Martin. Family comedy about a blue-collar couple in South Jersey trying to get by and raise 4 kids, 3 of whom just happen to be certified geniuses. Okay. Patty's Auto. I wonder if you can hear The Simpsons in the background because it is surely playing. There's 2 more comedies they dropped. And NBC's got some comedies that they ordered this series. The Keenan Show, of course, is Kenan Thompson's show with him and Andy Garcia and Poonam Patel. Great. A widowed Keenan is determined to be everything for his kids while begrudgingly letting his persistent father-in-law become more involved in their lives. They pass over some shows. Perfect Harmony with Bradley Whitford and Anna Camp. It's a show in Timberley Hill. I don't know if I say it. Timberley. Rural church choir gets a director it never thought it needed when a salty Ivy League music professor stumbles through the door. It looks funny. I think I'll check it out. Sunnyside, Cal Penn, Moses Storm, Joel Kim Booster. Revolves around Garrett Shaw, former New York City councilman who finds his calling when faced with immigrants in need of his help in search of the American dream. And Indebted. Ordered series. Adam Pally, Abby Elliott, Fran Drescher, wow, Stephen Weber, okay, Jesse Hodges, Emmer Chadha Patel. Young parents, Dave and Rebecca, end up having to take care of Dave's parents who have mismanaged their finances and need help paying down a sizable debt. As you can tell, a lot of these are the multi-camera comedy variety, sort of, or just the comedy variety, or no, sorry, of the family variety. We'll see how these do, especially coming up in the next year, where there's, probably going to be 500 to 600 new shows that premiere. Not a joke. FX does a study every year, and the number of shows go up every single year. We'll see how those shows perform. Speaking of performing, why don't you perform on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there's going to be some new interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. And you know what? I don't even want to jinx it. I'm not going to say anything else. And then let's see. If you want to see a video version of this podcast, head over to the website at www.youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can see my pretty face, and you can see me just read through a list of the shows. I didn't think it was going to go like that. I got bored halfway through. A quarter of the way through. 2 in. And then what else can you do? You can also, there at youtube.com/cpluscomedy, you can watch News Time, which is the premier news show that comes out every single week, no matter what, I hope. This week it was very late. It comes out every single week. Check it out. This week's episode is about the Emmys and how they are going hostless this year and some other stuff. What else is going on? That's it. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Tell your friends. Rate, review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever that. gosh darn F it's called. All right, I'm done. Bye.